Haven't said this in a while, but what's going on, fishy friends? It's good to have everyone here tonight. I'm super excited. So about Scott will tell us in a second, but several months ago, I was really um, uh, proud to be invited to join the board of Lucky and Blessed Fishing. It's a wonderful organization. I haven't shared with you guys a whole lot, but on this, but I actually had a background in nonprofit for a long time. I was a teacher in Washington, D.C., and then I worked with education nonprofits in DC as well, before kind of migrating to my current life. So when Scott asked me to join the board, I was really happy and honored for that invitation, and I've been really enjoying the opportunity to get back into the world of serving others. So instead of me telling you all about Lucky and Blessed, I'm actually going to bring in the founder and president of Lucky and Blessed, Mr. Scott Steers. Hey, Scott, how's it going?
Hey, what's happening, Grant?
Nothing much, man. I'm glad to be live. I'm glad to be a part of Lucky and Blessed, and I'm glad that you're here as well. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. Give us
Yeah.
a good old elevator speech, man. Tell us about Lucky and Blessed.
Yeah, well, so right out of the gate, what we call these lucky and blessed moments. When things go like, what? How could it possibly be this good? We're like, we're lucky and blessed. How could it not be this good? So, but yeah, no, thank you guys and thank you, Grant. It was so great that you could come out of retirement, so to speak. I used to enjoy watching all your shows, and was just always so fun. And when we started talking about doing this, I got really, really fired up because there's no better way, I believe, to share our story, share the impact that we're making. And it's kind of interesting. If I think back about 2 years ago, we were basically a fishing club. And I'm just going to kind of segue into the little intro about who we are and how we got started. But really, we were just a fishing club that was designed to give back. And that was pretty much it. And once we got rolling, some folks started hearing about us, like the ARC and these local meaningful day program providers for adults with disabilities. And as we start doing these programs and getting more popular and really starting to expand, Grant was actually the one that said, "Hey, like this has all the signs of a successful an emerging nonprofit that can really get some good funding and also make a big impact." So first, Grant, thank you for that, for encouraging me. I didn't realize at that time that it would be a full-time job with no pay, but
Yeah, it's the joys of nonprofit, my friend.
but you know what? The
Yeah.
payments are in smiles and hugs and just massive joy, because I tell you what, that's what we see, and that's what we experience at these events. And let me tell you, 2 years ago, it was myself and our sweet, sweet friend, Christina Cachero. We were just the two of us running around doing as much of these fishing events as we could. The next year, everybody came back, but more organizations found out about us. Last year, we did 37 events, private events with these different organizations. I think we served over 237 folks with different abilities. This year, since April, we've actually taken over 1,200 folks with different abilities out through over 60 different events. And we're not done yet. We still have October and November events that that are doing. On top of that, we started our summer camps. We had summer camps this year that were very, very successful for all abilities. We had kids with and without disabilities, youth with and without disabilities, adults, young adults, and adults with and without disabilities, all fishing together, hanging out together, spending the day together at this camp. What we like to say, what we think the world should look like, Grant. All abilities, all ages, all together, no barriers, no you go here because you're handicapped, you go there because you're not. When we started this thing, we're like, hey, let's help the disabled folks. What we realized, Grant, was really that wasn't our mission. Our mission is taking down the barriers that have been there forever, that have kept these people from fishing up to this point in their lives, right? Socially, people say, you can't do this, you can't do that, you don't have the ability to do that. And what's really so cool is that we've noticed that through this program, the focus, which again was on disabilities in the beginning, is now on abilities. Just to kind of segue into one of our programs, Michael Hoffman has been on staff with us since May. He came as a client. We very quickly got him tried to get him on board as a volunteer because he's great with people and he's great as an angler. Those two abilities were so strong, and really all we needed to hire him. And he's been an absolute perfect employee since May and on staff with us. And it just goes to show, and really just emphasizes our heart and where we're at. Now that we're entering even workforce support, supporting folks with disabilities with not only with employment but with volunteerism. So man, that's something that just really fires us up, because again, we had no idea. We're like, hey, let's take kids with disabilities fishing. Man, all of a sudden there's so many different things that are happening, and even more as we move into the winter time. We typically would stop in November, but we've actually partnered with county parks to provide outdoor education. So now we can continue to build relationships and community with our clients instead of shutting down in November, locking everybody in so they can have cabin fever over the winter time, which really we think would reverse all the work that we've done over the last several months with these folks, right? Because we meet with them every month. So anyways, the winter programs are really looking great, and we're excited about that. And that's a game changer, because that turns our program into a 12-month program. And man, I tell you what, there's so much to talk about.
Well,
and I'm not going to talk about all of it now.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot going on, but tonight specifically, we're talking about the rockfish tournament that Lucky and Blessed is hosting. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, we had our first tournament in the spring. It was an invasive tournament. My good buddy Colin, the Big Yacker Fishing, check him out on YouTube.
He'll be jumping on and joining us here in a little bit. So.
He'll be jumping on and joining us. But he was our tournament director, again this year. We were initially looking at doing a golf tournament, and although we're golfers, we're better anglers than we are golfers. So we figure we're probably better at running a fishing tournament than a golf tournament.
Yeah. So I'm not a very good fisherman, but I'm definitely a terrible golfer. So
yeah, well, I'm an okay. I think I'm about okay at both, But anyway, so we had a really good first tournament. Didn't have the representation that we'd like, from the angling community, but we're hoping that we'll get better with this one. We did have a great time. We partnered with DNR, which was great. And that's, we partnered with some, a lot of different organizations to help us to do that. And that's another big part of who we are, is not just us, but all our partners, our sponsors, and those that help us to do what we do. Right. This year, this season, and this was the goal from the beginning, is to have two, one in the spring, one in the fall. Obviously, Rocktober is upon us. And so this is a rockfish tournament. It's the Reelin Rockin Rockfish Bash. And it's a tournament and a benefit. So it's going to be not only just a fishing tournament, but it's our end of the year charity benefit and our very first one. So you better come out, because it's going to be an awesome party. And that's also going to be a banquet or an award ceremony for the winners of the tournament. So just to kind of hear a little bit about the tournament, it's the best 5-fish stringer. It's going out of Maryland. It's Maryland only. A lot of that is just because we're sending prizes out and that kind of thing. And it's expensive to ship prizes to Pennsylvania or Virginia and that kind of thing. So although we love you guys in those different areas, this is a Maryland only tournament. All the details are right online. In fact, if you just go to labfishing.org, it'll pop right up in your face, all the information about all the Bash event and the Bash tournament.
And the prizes, right?
And there's some amazing prizes. Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a sample of some of the maybe the top 2 or 3 prizes.
Yeah, well, first we have Stephanie Ray, who's actually our director of corporate.
She's not a prize. She's not a prize.
She's not a prize. She is a prize. She's a prize to me because she's my gal Friday, my right hand gal.
But you can't win her. You can't win her.
You can't win her. She's already taken her husband. Rob's an awesome guy. He's actually come out and volunteered with us. Yeah, no, you cannot have her. But yeah. Now I completely forgot where I was going. Okay. Thanks. You totally derailed me. No, Stephanie is also a woodworker and an artist, and she made the trophies, the trophy plaques, like natural wood with like bark on the sides, like wood burned in. She did the trophies for our snakehead tournaments, which there's some pictures floating around with that. And I think I even sent one to you, Grant. I think you might even have a picture of our tournament table. Anyway, she's
Oh, I
making
did
it
that.
again
I
this
saw it.
year. It's going to have our really, really cool ass logo with our strat with the rockfish. Which stay tuned. We got some apparel coming out with that, some hats and shirts, sweatshirts. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, so so that's first and foremost really, really cool trophies that Stephanie's doing for us. Our really good friend Dave Bell over at Chasing Dreams Charters. He also is a custom rod builder, and he's donating a rod which is going to go to the first place. Oh man, I love these pictures. Which is going to go to our first place winner. And guys, this is a custom, full out custom rod. Your specs, your colors, your name, your logo, your color thread, whatever. I don't have a picture of this. I'm not sure if Grant does, but we'll get a picture online so you can see, man, this guy built some beautiful rods, and he's also one of our volunteers and one of our LABF boat anglers as well. So that prize is in there, which is just amazing. So man, who doesn't want a custom built rod with all your name and all your stuff on it? So many great prizes. What else do we have? We ran into we have a new friend, Tim Blanchard from Fish the Potomac, and met him over at the boat show this week. And as you can see behind me, this is kind of what it looked like at the boat show. But Tim came up, and he's standing at our table here, and we're just chatting. And I found out he has a Blue Cat charter, and that's what he does exclusively. So guess what? They catch a lot of blue cats, and it's just like big fish after big fish. They go out on the Potomac. I think they have 2 boats. They're picking up a 3rd boat so they can take out, big parties. And their availability is really incredible. But they're donating a trip. So the second place winner is going to get that trip. Super, super fun. And I think there's something else. I'm not sure if Colin's in here yet, who's our tournament director. I think we might be giving away a book or something on second place as well. Maybe one of the Lenny Rudau books.
Well, real quick, Scott,
Yeah.
because we have Cambo waiting. Where can they go again to find out about the prizes? And
yeah, super easy, man. Just go to labfishing.org, labfishing.org /tournaments, or just go to our website and hit the tournaments link. You'll see our flyer. You'll see all the prizes. Right now, it's just list them with the sponsors. By tomorrow, if you go in and click the sponsors, it will actually show you a picture. So I'm going to get that ready so you can actually see photos of these things.
beautiful.
Yep. So that's right at the tournament link right there. And you'll also see sponsorship for the benefit if there are any businesses or individuals, families, or whatever that want to sponsor any part of our benefit. That's out there as well.
Awesome. And lastly, I think it's really important, and Cambo's being very patient in the waiting room.
Thank you, Snakehead Jesus.
I see him smiling back there. Real quick, because I think this is important.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a tournament, a paid tournament, and a fundraiser. The money that the entry fees, how is that benefiting the population that we serve?
Yeah, absolutely, man. For us as a nonprofit, as you know, every day you're like, how can we keep doing our work, right? And how can we not only keep doing our work, but how can we continue to reach more when we see the blessing that we're providing? We just want to reach more people. So every dollar that comes in from this tournament goes right to our work. You guys can partner with us. You'll be a partner with us. You can say, hey, we're doing this work together. And that's really what this is all about. Not you giving us money, but you coming alongside of us and being partners with us in this work, guys. Over 1,200 folks we've taken fishing this year, and we're not done. Next year it's going to be probably over 2,000. And these are folks that their lives are changing because they've never been introduced to this type of activity before. And it's life changing. As you guys know, it changed my life, which is why I started being on the water and fishing. Has changed my life just through the therapeutic nature of it. And that's what we're doing for these folks. And that's what you guys can actually do by participating in this tournament.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Scott. For those of you that are watching now, Scott's going to come back on here at the end of the show. But thanks so much for sharing your passion, for having me on the board, and for talking with us tonight. So
yeah, and really quick. I know nothing's really quick with me, but I want to welcome our guests. I fished with all of them. In fact, Steve watched me lose a big snakehead, and he goes, Scott, haven't you watched any of my videos? I can't believe you have 8-pound test on that line.
You were snakehead fishing with 8-pound test? Well,
No, I just grabbed a bunch of rods. I had braid on most of them, but the one
you
that
must have thought you were fishing with the trout version of Kambotrout.
Well, then when I fished with you and you caught that 40-inch rockfish on a light
Who,
focal rod.
me?
Yeah, it was like
Me?
a perch rod.
Using a light rod for a big fish?
Perch
Never.
rod. A perch rod
That
happened.
doesn't sound like me at all.
Yeah, and then lastly, Walleye Pete, I'm not sure if he's watching, but he will be joining us tonight.
Yeah.
He was one of the first guys I went out jigging with, him and Fig and the boys, and I think probably you were on there as well, where I got this name adopted, and I don't know if it was just me, but he called me Cherry Boy because I was the new guy on the boat. So I was Cherry Boy for the day. So I just had to share a couple of those stories. Fish with all these guys. Love these guys. They've been influencers to me as I learned how to fish early on. So that really inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you guys for inspiring me. You still do it every day.
All right, brother. We will see you here and at the end of the show, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Steven, what's going on, brother?
Grant, how you been, dude?
Man, I've been all right. Life be lifing sometimes, man.
You ain't lying, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you sound busy, man. Every time, I check in with you, you sound like you live a busy life.
It's wild.
Yeah.
You taking time with Scott without a problem because I'm literally still working.
Oh my God.
I got plenty
Oh.
of work to fill the time, dude. Plenty of work.
Shore Sharp, man, it's great to have you on the show tonight, man. I miss those old times with talking fishing. And I may do this. Me and Scott were talking about it. I may do it semi-regularly. We're not going weekly like we used to, but we may do some more shows. I can tell you that.
You let me know, dude, if I can pop in. I'll pop in, man. I miss talking fishing too because work has taken.
Yeah, you know what? Like, there's all sorts of little cliche statements about, work and what happens when you die and you don't get to take X, Y, and Z with you. So we're not going to get into all that. Brother, let's talk fishing. We guys, for those of you in the audience, we have like a snakehead expert, but I've been rock fishing with this guy, and he's outfished me both for rockfish and snakehead. So we got a guy that knows his stuff. But really quick, before we get too far, and I really want our guest to do most of the talking tonight, but there will be a question of the night along with the other prizes that we'll talk about in a second. But there's 3 packs of these big old BKDs, which,
Yep.
in the fall are a really good bait. They're all different colors. We've got the chartreuse and we got the pink. And for question of the night, which Walleye Pete will be deciding, the winner of question of the night will get those. Also, if you register for the tournament, which Colin Lennon, also on our board, Big Yacker, is flashing the link to join that tournament. If you register for the tournament, at the end of this show, he will come on and he's going to do a prize drawing. And those prizes are pretty dope. We got a Lucky and Blessed prize pack that has all these all blues on them. If you've ever fished with Robert Figliozzi, he swears by these things. And we've also got a Big Yacker package, which comes with, tons of baits, looks like a square bill maybe, some top water, and a hat that I swear it fits all sizes, not just Colin's giant head. So those are going to be some prizes available tonight. And I think there's a possibility of a Rudo book, but I'm not sure. Have you gotten to go fishing recently?
Out back. But yeah, no, it's I went out in recent history, I guess I would say. What was it, about 3 weeks ago? And I've been living vicariously through others, so I'm not completely disconnected. And I mean, at this point in life, let's be honest, dude, I can look at conditions and water temperatures and know what's going to be going on.
Yeah.
So, like diving into fishing reports and forecasts, not a problem if you want to go.
Yeah. Having done your fair share of rock fishing, and guys, we're going to talk about snakehead. We're going to give Cambo some nice big fat. It's like a volleyball game. Set, and Spike. We're going to get into snakehead right in his comfort zone. But you have done some rock fishing in your
Yes,
life.
sir.
Um,
If you can grow up in Maryland and be a fisherman and not go rock, it's a mystery to me.
you're missing something, right?
Yeah.
Um, we're in October now, right? Uh, you know,
Over.
over the last, the last few years in October have been a little rough, but over the last, like traditionally, October is a very good month for catching rockfish. So, do you have some just overall tips, things that you would say are good habits to follow, good techniques to follow
Yeah.
during October for rockfish?
Yeah, definitely. There's a few different points we can hit on here. First things first, whether you like it, whether you hate it, I'm just going to say it. There's plenty of groups out there on social media or Fish Brain app or anything like that. Those are tools at your disposal. They're downsides, but if you're looking for fresh fishing reports, I highly recommend them. You can find those all over Facebook. You can download Fish Brain app and do all that kind of. But once you're actually on the water, let's get into the fun part. I've already held up some BKDs, dude. Anytime that I go out on a boat rock, it's literally the first lure I'm going to throw, unless like I really think that I have a good shot at top. Like first light in the morning, I'm going to be throwing like a bomber or like a spook or something like that and ripping it across the surface because it's the most fun. But I feel like the top water is like the name of the game. That BKD is going to be the first thing like, reach for it. Because once I nail a few on that and start building confidence, I'm like, okay, well, now I can branch out. Now I can play with my lure selection. I can target bigger fish. But those BKDs come in all sizes. I mean, I'll throw on a 7-inch BKD in a heartbeat. That lure just absolutely slays out. Now, what it's really going to come down to for you, whether when you're getting out there on the water nowadays, you're going to be in a kayak, are you going to be from shore, are you going to be from boats? Because all those games are very different.
Mhm.
We are getting into the part of the season where, the rocks are going to start pushing those bait balls to the surface and we're going to start seeing bird shows. I've already heard from Rashawn, a few others who have been out, that's already happening depending on where you are on the bay. So, what we're going to be moving into now, water temperatures start dropping, is we're going to be progressively getting to a point where the bait fish are going to more and more start pushing out of those tributaries. It's not happening yet, to my knowledge. You'll see plenty of bait out back of my house, but they are going to start. That's a they, being the stripers. They start pushing in and really chasing that bait and start to blow them up. So keep an eye out for the magic out. Pay attention to the moving tides. Those moving tides are going to be by far your highest, percentages in terms of fish hitting and being active. Those moving tides, target those. And then I guess from there, you're going to have a lot of action. I've heard good things for like Pools Island, Hart Miller right now. You get out there the right time of day, and you go out there on light tackle with top water and have an absolute blast.
So
It's not work.
for those that may not be aware, can you
Yep.
give people an idea of where Pools Island is?
Yeah, sure. So the areas I'm talking about right now, um, places I used to go, like a lot of folks do or don't know. I grew up in Maryland, but I joined the Army straight out of high school. So it's like I grew up in Maryland, but at the point at which I had a driver's license, I was out of here and didn't make it back until 2016. But one of the first places I went to when I got back was actually Hart Miller, and that's out of Rocky Point. And Hart Miller is a really cool place because it's near to us. Like you're in like the Baltimore area, general area, Baltimore County, Harford County. It's really easy to visit. And you launch out of there, immediately in front of you, you're going to see Hart Miller, and it's got two channels on either side of it. The bait push back into it. The striper will sit in the channels. They'll push bait up onto the shallow that island. So if you're in a boat, be careful. You can find some shallow water pretty quickly. But man, it's so Rocky Point is very close by. Do you know, Grant, is Rocky Point, is that Baltimore or Harford County? I'm not sure if it crosses into Harford or not. It might still be Baltimore.
I think that's Baltimore. I'm a little
Mhm.
bit more on the same wavelength as our next guest, Walleye Pete,
Mhm.
and that we both really spend. I mean, he's more than I mean, I think he's 100% south of the Bay Bridge. I'm probably
Yes.
95% south of the Bay Bridge. So that's actually one of the reasons, why I thought you'd be a good compare and contrast um, guest, because I knew that you'd be more familiar with rock fishing north of the bridge.
Now, Pools Island, since you're two, that one's a little bit farther north. It's out to the mouth of the Gunpowder. So if you're launching out of Mariner Point, all the way out past the bridge, all the way out, essentially to the mouth of what at that point I considered the Gunpowder, and that's where Pools Island is.
Right.
And like same deal out there. You can have an absolute blast. One of the best times I ever had out there was using a peeler crab on my buddy's boat. Couldn't keep a line in the water. Like it was one after another, after another, after another out there.
And I hope I'm not blowing any spots, but Mariner's Point, there's other species to catch there in
Right?
that area.
But it's a great segue because now we're entering that time of year where you can get what I call the Chesapeake trifecta, and that's when you're going to nail largemouth, snakehead, and striper on the same trip, sometimes right next to each other. Because it's not the norm. I don't want to present it as if it is, but there are certain environments, especially around weed edges near drop off and things like that, where you will see snakehead chasing, bunker, which is very common prey item for
Hmm.
striper,
Yeah.
almost right alongside the striper and the bass. It's like they're all going to be blasting this time of year. All the fish out there to build up those fat reserves to make it through the winter. So it's that fall blitz. It's that fall bite. It's fire bite out there. I guess my only caution with it, always keep an eye on the wind forecast. If you don't have the app, a few others out there, definitely download it because if you fish for long enough, you're going to learn that you can't trust the wind forecast, your general like common use like weather.com. Because they don't track direction as reliably. They don't track the wind strength as reliably because wind moves differently on land and in water. Because on land you have impediments, on water you. It's a big difference between like a 5 or 10 mile an hour wind on the water and a 5 or 10 mile an hour wind on land. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
maintain
Yeah.
that safety out there. Still pretty
Hmm.
warm, but water temps are going to be dropping. Be safe on the water. I always want to hit that when I'm ever talking.
Yeah. So, this is a fundraiser for a tournament for a good cause. Um, so I don't want to stir too much up, but like when you were seeing snakehead chasing bunker with, wait, the snakehead weren't just demolishing the population of the striper and the bunker and eating human babies and all that. That wasn't happening.
Well, I mean, if we're going to open that can, we can open that can.
Let's
Yeah,
let's let's not.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just
Don't tempt
poking.
me. Don't tempt me.
Just poking a little fun, man.
I will
Um,
say, I will say this for what it's worth. It's snakehead. You don't have to remove the bloodline on a snakehead, man. As much as I love my snakehead and I see all their value, and I'll be an acolyte of the snakehead community as long as I live. I tell you what, if I had to eat one between striper and snakehead, I'm choosing snakehead, dude. So we can argue that in the comment
ooh,
section. Let's
ooh,
do it.
ooh.
Go ahead, light it up.
Uh, I'm not going to choose one. I mean, I'm not trying to be a wishy-washy host, but I
Mhm.
love them both. I really think, I mean, everyone says snakehead are great, and I will say this. I think it may have something to do with the fact that they are so freaking ugly that people are like, huh, it's not that bad.
That's you see, therein lies the trick, dude. And I've done it before. I've said it in my seminars. If you get snakehead and you have family members who say they won't try it, take the snakehead, fillet it, bring it to the family cookout for everyone, some nice striper fillets. And after they've enjoyed it, be like, hey, how do you like that snakehead? And that
Yeah.
just be prepared to run just in case of who you're
And they're
dealing with.
like, right.
But I mean, sometimes that's how you got to do it. Like, should we call him Chesapeake Chana, dude? Are we going to drink the Kool-Aid? We could do that since
I
Maryland
was
renamed
just
them.
about to ask you if you'd ever called them Chesapeake China,
I
because when
mean,
that came out, like, uh, I'm not
it,
trying to be like the cool guy or anything. It just doesn't sound cool at all.
no, no, it's like we're making it more palatable to, encourage consumption, and I get it.
Right. Right.
Part of me likes it because it's like Chana. It's actually part of their scientific name, Chana argus. I'm not entirely opposed to it,
Right.
but I don't maybe it's the contrarian in me. It's like, no, that's snake. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's also cleaning up the image and making them sound a lot nicer than snake and all that.
Co- Colin Big Yacker says facts. The snakehead have better meat yield and better taste than the rockfish. I will agree with
Yup.
that with the meat yield. I mean, even a not so big snakehead has big, thick fillets, so that's cool. And I mean, I like the flavor of both of them. I think a
They're
lot
both
of
good
people
fish.
they
Yeah,
really are. They
I'm
really
not
are.
trying to crap on rock. I love eating rockfish,
Right.
but
Well,
if I had to
Cambo,
pick one,
stick around for a few minutes because
yeah, dude.
I've always enjoyed the few times that I've had you and Walleye Pete on at the same time. I mean, mainly so Pete can just tell you everything that you just said is wrong. Um, but he
Yeah.
also picks on you. None of this is for your benefit.
Ask him about how quiet I'm on the water when
No, no, no. You're both going to be on the live at the same time. I did this on purpose. I'm bringing
good
him in
deal.
right now, and then uh, hang out for a few minutes. And whenever you get truly bored, 5 or 10 minutes from now, just say, either I'll tell you to leave, or you can just tell us that you're exiting stage left. But
You got me for at least 20 minutes, bro. Go for it.
all right, what's going on, Pete? How you doing, brother?
Pete.
Cambo, be quiet, man. You're spooking the fish. Hey, Grant.
What's up?
So he was on the bow of my boat, and we're in relatively shallow water, and he's throwing jerk baits, and we're catching
Yep.
some pretty nice fish. It was in the spring, and he made some noise, and I'm like, hey, shh, I'm a firm believer in being quiet when you're fishing skinny water. So
Yeah.
I asked him to be quiet once or maybe twice, and then a great big fish followed him and swirled at the boat, and he about shystered his drawers, and he made a bunch of noise. I had to go up front. I said, come on, man, quiet down. But no, I love his enthusiasm. And I love your videos, by the way. Your snakehead videos I love seeing that stuff. So that is way cool, but
Brother.
quiet down, brother.
I tend to
Uh,
get it. Yeah, I'm a little enthusiastic on the water.
did
Guilty.
you yelled at? I mean, did you get coached, Cambo?
He coached me very tactfully.
Yeah.
Give all credit
Yes.
to Pete.
Cambo slings it and wings it and crushes
Yep.
it. But my only problem with him is he squealed like a schoolgirl, man.
It's all happy noise. The fish like happy noise.
No, it's all good. That was a great day. Remember that?
Yeah,
That
it
was a
was.
good day.
We tore him up that day. That was a good day.
Everywhere we went, basically. Yeah.
Well, Pete, man, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a while. I see your man cave down there slash. Do you still do the seminars down there?
I didn't do any last year. I don't know if I'm going to do any this year. I might try some webinars. My son is pushing on me to do webinars.
Well,
We'll
guys,
see. I don't
if he
know.
ever does another seminar, sign up because he's sitting in one of the coolest places in
Yeah.
Calvert County. So
Yeah.
it's a full bar and theater. But how's the fishing been? Or how have you been? How's the fishing been?
Well, I'm fishing fast and furious. Up until early August, I had a pretty good, consistent early morning rockfish bite. Early morning when when it first came back in the end of July, there, 1 August, I was doing quite well, catching surface plugging first thing in the morning, and then I would go out in the open water. So I fished till the sun was maybe above the trees, skinny water, and I was doing quite well. And then I had a couple 3 weeks of where did they go? We were lucky to get hits shallow, but it's fired back up now that the water's cooled off. I think some fish are coming from up north. I heard you guys talking about, north above the Bay Bridge. That's where, Cambo, what do you call the mass of trout? I say biomass, but people laugh at me. But
Yep.
I think the biomass of stripers are definitely north by a long shot. And in the fall, they'll start swinging back down our way. But we don't have many down here that live here all summer anymore. We used to, but we don't now. They leave in May and they don't come back until October, November. So that's what we got going on. And the giant bluefish were really, really good this year. Oh my God. I mean, I've had, 6 to 10 pound blues crazily good. And I catch stripers early and then go to the open water looking for the big blues and then hoping for some wayward redfish that maybe get around the bluefish that eat all the chunks that are, the big blues are just sawing stuff up. There's meat in the water everywhere you look. And but the redfish just weren't there this late summer, early fall, like historically. Last year I got them in October real well. This year, not anything yet.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, Rashawn brought me a lot of those blues. Those were some thick, healthy blues that you know he was out with you tearing them up. They ended up on my table. So
Well, hey, that's a good thing. No, we crushed it that day, and those fish were laying around on the surface. I was 500 yards away from an area on the water that was flat calm, but there was a little bit of a disturbed surface. Nothing was breaking. There was a couple of birds sitting around, and I got the binoculars up and I looked and I saw what looked like a fin maybe. And then I eased in closer and said, "Hey fellas, I see a different color over there on the surface. Sling it on over there. Let's see what we got." And probably Rashawn was quick on the trigger and slung one over, and about 100 fish were going after the same lure. They were all just laying at the top, loving life in the nice flat calm water. We had them breaking that day. We had them down on the bottom, and we had them laying around the top. And yeah, so that was a great day that Rashawn had. I'm glad that happened.
Guys, we have
I would have been really quiet out there, Pete.
Well, I wouldn't have cared that day.
we have a couple of experts on right now. If you want a chance at some BKDs, if I could ever get these things to show up, ask a question. And if you sign up for the tournament that Big Yacker is putting in the chat, you'll be eligible to win some really awesome prizes. I can show you some of those. We have the all blue LABF pack and the Big Yacker pack. So let's get those tournament registrations going and become eligible for some prizes. Pete, in the past, as we kind of move from this summer to fall pattern, that I would consider is kind of like an October, November pattern. What have been some strategies that you found to be particularly effective for your area of the bay, which are, south of Poplar Island, right?
Oh yeah, south of Chop Tank. I rarely go north of the Chop Tank. So as the waters cool down into the 70s and then into the 60s, they're into the upper 60s now. Historically, when it got below 80, I started to catch quite a few more fish in the islands, stripers. But the last few years, it's been more into the 60s and even into the 50s is when we get them good. And then when it's below 50, they go out into the main stem of the bay and start, doing their winter gig. But current plus structure equals fish to me every single time I fish. My whole thing in the islands of the Eastern Shore or up into the Patuxent River. Today I was in the Potomac River. It's isolated structures for me, especially in the islands of the Eastern Shore. There's not a biomass. I call it slivers of fish. I have slivers on structure, and if I fish 20 structures in a day lately, I'm catching fish on maybe 5 or 6 of them. So I'm working fast. The key right now is I'm catching fish, but I got to move to cover all that ground to find the sliver. I'm at maybe 10 to 15% of the numbers caught that I used to catch. 10 to 15%. That's it. And then once it gets colder, we're going to get more population of stripers in our waters in shallow. So I'll catch a lot more then. But what I saw in the past, I've been doing this 25 years as a guide. It's dramatically went down, but it's still good. And I'm spoiled. So I am spoiled rotten from the early 2000s up and through the teens. It was still very, very good. And in the 2020s, it has diminished quite a bit. But up in the bay, all is well. Charter boats stacked up, crushing them. And, guys going up, Cambo, you fish up there at all? I mean, there's a bunch of fish in the Patapsco River. I don't know. I
You're
can't
on the
go
middle
up there,
river,
though,
right?
but in the
Cambo?
islands, current plus structure equals fish. And I heard Cambo saying something about, fish coming out of tributaries. I think a lot of bait fish start to come out of the rivers and stuff, and they get into those islands of the Eastern Shore. And, more bait gets in there, and the fish coming down from the north are going to get in there, and there's going to be more fish. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing is more fish. And yeah, I'll cover ground and hit that structure.
Pete, do you think it's safe to say that if you're north of the bridge, you're going to see more numbers, but more competition, and
Oh my
south of the
God, yeah,
bridge, you'll
yeah.
have less numbers, but you'll have them all to yourself, right?
Correct. Mostly to yourself. Well,
Well, you'll
during a
be there.
weekday, during a weekday in the islands, I'm by myself.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
but
yeah.
if it's sunny out, I'm out of there by the time the sun hits the top of the trees, and I'm out looking for the, the blues and hopeful reds out there in the open water. Specks did not show up this year. I caught 30 specks. That's it. 30.
The whole
Kidding,
year.
man.
The whole year, 30.
Yeah, there was a I don't want to blow anyone's stuff. Well, I guess it's over now anyways. But the Eastern Bay.
Yeah.
Eastern Bay got a little bit of a spec run this year, which is
Yeah.
pretty surprising.
Yeah, well, there's a few specks. It's not like there's none, but as far as a real population of specks, nah. But some
Yeah.
did come up. And thank God they all didn't die in
So
the winter shock, or the cold in the winter killed them last year. When ice gets over the top of creeks
yeah,
down south in Carolina, Virginia, those fish die that are in those creeks.
yeah, there was both Lynn Haven and what's the other one down there? In
Well,
Virginia Beach.
there's a few down there, and
Yeah,
there are some above Virginia Beach, well, some up in the bay, just like the Rappahannock region.
right.
Yep.
Above the Rappahannock, there's a great speck river, but a lot of fish died. And then down south, even in Carolina, some specks died in some creeks that got ice over them for a few days last winter. So there was a pretty good speck kill, but that's a natural thing. It happens, and they're very prolific. Heck, if I'm going to be a fish, I'm going to be a speck because they spawn 3 times a year
Yeah.
instead of once.
Did not know that. Thank you,
Uh,
Pete. I didn't know
Yeah,
they spawn 3 times a year.
I just
yeah.
learned that too. So do snakehead, right, Cambo?
Debatable.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But
I want to ask.
Two times a year for sure, based on
Okay.
the gonadsomatic index, but that's a whole other story.
The what?
If somebody that knows gets on here, then they can tell me. But I'm pretty sure I talked to a real. I caught a speck a few years ago in August in the bay that had a tag on it, and I cut the tag off and made the call that day. And it was a biologist in the Neuse River. That fish was caught in the Neuse
I
River.
fished in the Neuse River a ton.
It came in. It was in the Neuse
North
River where it
Carolina,
got
yeah.
tagged in February at
Hmm.
15 or 16 inches, and we caught it in September at 21 inches.
Wow.
It
Wow.
grew a
It put
lot.
on
That guy
5
said that
inches.
they can grow an inch or two a month when they're
Holy
eating well.
good
Wow.
God.
Well, I want to ask you guys since we have you both here, and we'll start with Cambo because he hasn't gotten to talk in a few minutes. But
Good, man. I'm learning.
Cambo, if you were participating in the tournament, you had to go out tomorrow, you had to pick a lure, and we're not going to choose a spot because I'm going to ask the same question to Pete, and I don't want to ask him to be a guide and give one of his spots. We're going to ask lure and situation. So, right, let's just use a BKD for example. Actually, I think you're going to use that. So we'll use
Yeah.
the all blues in 35 feet of water on a drop off. So that's an example, right?
Hmm.
So we're going lure and we're going situation. What say you, sir?
So he laid it out really well, man. Like I was saying too, it's like magic hour. I'm gonna throw top water. That's when you expect them to be shallows before that sun gets up. Me personally, and Pete's the expert here, so I defer. But if you're putting me on the spot, I would be probably aiming for that. I'd say probably like 10 to 12, maybe down to 15-foot range in order to target them as the sun's coming up. And I am going to probably start with 6-inch BKD. I'd probably start with a mid-range size lure. But I mean, the other part of this other big part of this equation is going to be electronic. Because if you're not fishing structure, like Pete said, if you're fishing more open water, then you're going to have to actually find those schools as well, bird sign or whatever it is. So I would start on top in the shallow, then I would move out to the deeper water off to find that current, and I'm probably going to be using that 6-inch BKD. Yeah, that's my answer.
Nice. Pete, what you got?
Yeah.
What you got, Pete?
Well, I heard what you said before he spoke, but I was listening to him intently. So, what's the weather? What's the weather for my tournament day? What do we got going on weather-wise?
We'll just say we'll go kind of right in the middle. We'll go partly cloudy. Uh, it's it's been high of 75, low of 62 for 4 days straight.
What's the wind direction and speed, sort of? I mean, if it's light, let's just say light wind. Okay, we're light wind.
Light wind from
Light wind.
let's go from a not so bad direction.
Okay,
From
that's
from
fine.
blowing west.
Okay, well, for me, west is a bad direction unless it's light, because I like to fish a lot of the Bayside
It's
islands.
light wind. It's light
Yeah,
wind.
It's
Eastern Shore
all
Islands.
good.
4
So
mile an hour.
So I'm going skinny first, and I'm probably going to go with a storm chug bug, and I'm going to go over probably some submerged rock piles or wood. There's some, islands with a lot of wood around it, so those have been producing good for me. So if I was in a tournament tomorrow and the weather was decent, yeah, I've got a rock pile I'd go to, and definitely like to have some good outgoing or incoming because it goes over that rock pile both ways. So good structure, and before that sun gets to the top of the trees, I'm going to be knocking the crap out of it with a popper. And then, if they're not hitting the surface, Cambo, it. Some days they just don't hit the top, and some days they hit the top every time. So if they're not going to hit the top, then I'm probably going to go with an 1/8 ounce jig head, and I'll tie a BKD. I got a chartreuse here, but I'll go with a white or a purple glitter early in the morning and really, really sharp twitch that thing over the top of the structure. As soon as it lands, I'm going to click that bail and I'm going to work it very close to the top, or go with an X-Rap 10 jerk bait. I'll go with that. And it's X-Rap 10 6-inch BKD, knocking tail paddle tail. I do like my knocking tail paddle tails too. 5 inchers on a 1/4 ounce jig head. So. But the first string thing is going to be a popper. Seems like the big bubbas in a spot love to eat the top. So that's what I'm doing.
I think you just kind of answered this, but I didn't notice that Shore Sharp had a question. And maybe you can add to it if you feel the need. But he asked, Pete, what's your go-to lure for early morning rock in the shallows?
Well, early morning rock in the shallows, I got to go top water because I love it. And there's nothing like seeing a good top water hit. And when you put a video up with the top water getting shot, it gets a lot of views, doesn't it, Cambo?
It does.
So I like the top water first thing. The storm chug bug's the perfect size. It's not too big for a speck to eat. It's not too big for a redfish to eat. And certainly stripers love it. Giants love it. They're great. And yeah, that's what I'd be doing first thing. That would be my go-to right away.
Cambo, we've got you in your wealth of knowledge about snakehead, and I'm sure somebody watching will be curious and wondering why we have you on here not to talk about snakehead. Right now, today, or not now because it's nighttime, but tomorrow morning, you got to go out and catch a snakehead. We're gonna go. We're not gonna go spots, right? We're gonna go Eastern Shore or Western Shore. And we're gonna do what bait and what situation if you had to get it done.
Okay, so hopefully you have some kind of electronics. If you don't, then I would target those areas that get the most afternoon sunlight exposure. That's generally going to be your warmest water. And I would go to the Eastern Shore if I had the ability and the time to go there. Generally speaking, it's going to warm up faster than other waters. You said the morning. I do want to put the caveat out there to the folks that if you have the choice this time of year, this is when I start going for the afternoon trips because you want that water to have as much time as possible to warm up to get those snakes active. Those overnight temperatures are going to usually dampen down that bite. And the areas I'm going to target, I'm still going to be targeting vegetation. Vegetation is going to start thinning out now. We've had our first kind of like what I consider the first like real cool down period. We were in that like the 70s, 80s for highs. Now we're firmly into that 60s and 70s zone. So those temps are going to start coming down. You can still get them on top, but very soon we're going to be moving into that area where subsurface is going to be more productive. So I'm going to be using probably paddle tails and like soft plastics like it, like swim frogs inside the remaining vegetation for subsurface. And then once the water warms up, I'm still going to throw my top water, because you can still get it done this time of year on top water. I might just work it a little more slowly than I otherwise would. Just keep an eye out. If you're in those hydrilla mats, even in the upper bay, especially once the day warms up on a moving tide, if you think you see fish that are busting and you think they're striper, might be snakehead. So definitely check it out.
And then, I'm not nearly the snakehead angler that you are, but I know at some point, you just transition on, to a minnow under a bobber, right? If you want to catch snakehead during the winter, how do you know when it's time to make that transition?
Water temperature, really. Water temperature, if you want to have a reliable subsurface bite for snakehead, in my experience, is 50 degrees and up. So once you're getting below 50 degrees for your water temperature, if you really want to maximize your chances of catching them, that's when you're going to want to start.
And Pete,
Yeah.
how about we do that same thing? And you're probably going to ask me about a bunch of variables, and that's fine. We'll come up with some variables. But if you had to choose, if you wanted to try to win this rockfish tournament tomorrow, and guys, if you're interested in registering, you're not going against Pete. That wouldn't quite be fair. Now there may be
It
some
would be
people
just they beat me. It's all good.
Sure, whatever, dude. If you had to try to win the tournament tomorrow, would you
Yeah.
go to the Eastern Shore or the Western Shore?
Well, I live in a place that's close to a large fish producing spot on the Western Shore. I'm I live right there, so why not use that? I might go there first, although I feel guilty because I'd like to go catch them on shallow structure.
Right.
There are some nice fish in that spot right now, but they come and they go, and they're in isolated little spots in that region there. But I'd probably go there first thing, and if it's a little cloudy out, then there's a great shot when I run across to the east side and start hitting those lots of old riprap under the water in many areas, from Taylor's up to the chop tank, and Bloodsworth. I mean, not Bloodsworth, Hoopers. So from Hoopers to the chop tank and Tillman, there's a lot of great rock structure that I'd be going to hit. But I might go to that place first thing in the morning on my side for the first half hour, maybe.
Good stuff. Guys, I wanted to remind everyone that the kind of whole point of tonight's live, in the title, is the Lucky and Blessed Rockfish Tournament live podcast. We really are encouraging everyone to sign up for the tournament. Big Yacker has been putting up the link. I think it's, if you scroll up, you can see the link is actually Colin Lennon put it up, but it's www.ianglertournament.com/node/8914. Colin or Big Yacker, could you put that link up again for everyone? It's a $40 entry fee. You'll become eligible to win prizes that are 100 times, not 100 times, but significantly more valuable than your entry fee. And more importantly, as you heard Scott say, and we're gonna bring him on here in a few minutes. It's for a really good cause. It's helping people of all abilities have more opportunities to get out in the water. If you think how therapeutic and amazing fishing is for you, imagine how it would be for someone who doesn't have the same ability to get out in the water as you have. So it's for a good cause. It's $40, and you might win some prizes, and you'll get to compete and have a good bit of fun. So Pete,
Yeah.
other than the shallow water bite, late afternoon, is there a go-to strategy that you want to pick? I know you're usually off the water by 4 or 5, but you told me tonight you might not even be able to make it until later because you thought you might be fishing until dark. So
I love low light at the end of the day. I just typically go at dark 30 because I just do. Sometimes I have to adjust my timing because of wind, and today I just adjusted my entire different region to fish. I just launched in a area where I could fish protected on a northeast wind. So, but anyway, in the afternoon, I do it the same as the morning, man. It's low light, but I like what Cambo was talking about in the springtime. I definitely want sun to be warming stuff up. That brings life all getting going. The life really rolls in that sun in the spring when it's warming up. Now, striped bass, they definitely they handle the cool a little bit better. They're active in the morning, really strong while the water is, in the 50s and 60s still. They're still really active. So I'm going to go fish my same stuff, but a lot of times in the afternoon, man, they're active. So in the Pax River or out in the bay up north where there's actually some stripers, and they get active on top in the evening. So I'd be looking for that big time. But shallow, I'd be doing the same stuff I do in the morning, hitting structures with the poppers and a good old BKD, quarter ounce head, eighth ounce head, and or an X-Rap 10 crankbait. I'd be ripping them and stripping them across those structures big time.
And for both of you, Cambo, you brought up that birds are starting to work in your part of the bay. Pete, if you're looking for birds, if that's kind of your strategy, where are you looking for those? Because I mean, the bay can be, for someone who hasn't been out there for 25 years, the bay can be huge. It can be kind of overwhelming at times with the amount of water there is to cover.
It's big time.
If you're looking for birds, is there a strategy of where you might start to look?
It depends on what time of year. If it's in the winter, it's, shipping channel. But if it's this time of the year, I don't have any stripers working bait at all yet because I just don't have very many stripers. But the bluefish, though, they've been anywhere from 3 to 4 feet of water in coves of the islands of the Eastern Shore all the way out to the shipping channel. So basically, I like to get around 20 feet and start running so I can see in and I can see out with my binoculars. And I don't want to run way out so I can't see way in, and I don't want to run way in so I can't see way out. So with bluefish right now with birds, because birds are working them, that's what I do. But with stripers, once we get them in the fall, they're going to be out in the deeper water. Once that water gets below 50 in the shallows, all the bait seems to move out, and I'd be looking out 20 feet plus, typically.
Good stuff.
Never and always.
Good stuff. Cambo, you have anything to add, that you want to add to that?
Last thing I'll say is, and Pete kind of touched on it. If you wanted to stack your fishing day so you can actually chase that trifecta I was talking about, you can go out first thing in the morning, not a problem. Like there's waters I'll go out on the upper bay and I will look for busting rockfish, busting stripers, nail them until it warms up a little bit more. Then I move into the vegetation, and that's when I'm catching the snakehead and the bass. And then if I'm out there all day on the way back out, same thing. I'm going to hit the stripers again when they start working in the evening for that magic hour. So if you want to stack it like that on the water, if you have the whole day, that's one way you can do it.
The northern bay slam is the largemouth snakehead.
That's cool. Have you done that, Cambo? A largemouth, a snakehead, and a striper?
For those folks out there who want to see it, if you Google my name, Kambotrout, or YouTube search, I should say, Kambotrout Chesapeake trifecta.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Cambo froze.
I will say that you can find him real easy, Kambotrout. Just Google it, YouTube. His videos are freaking great. Educational. They sound great. They look great. He's got freaking videos that show stuff going on that just boggles my mind. So
they go years back. I mean, he's been making these things for a long time.
Did we lose Grant? It looks like he's spinning on my side.
No, we lost you.
Yeah, Grant, Cambo, are you there still, brother?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we lost you.
Okay, so yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's usually
for like the last 30 or 40 seconds. You were.
Hey, all I was saying, in case it was not caught for the video, was in the mornings you can hit the striper for that magic hour. As the water warms up, move into the vegetation for the largies and the snakehead, and then on your way out, if you have the whole day, you hit the striper on the way out. You're going back towards open water to get back to the ramp. That's how I've done it. And if you want to see a video of it, just YouTube search Chesapeake trifecta Kambotrout. Videos up there.
Good stuff.
Cambo, stick around for a couple more minutes. First, I want to give you the chance to talk about Legion of Anglers. Tell us, a brief synopsis of what you guys are all about, and then what you guys have going on.
Yeah, sure. You want me to go ahead now?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah. So Legion of Anglers is our fishing club. So Rashawn, otherwise known as Infamous Fishing, and Tommy Tech, we've been our like the co-captains for a long time. Cards on the table. I've stepped back recently because I'm handling work and family of late. But what we do with the Legion of Anglers, of course, we host tournaments throughout the year. The other thing we love to do out there is to go out and do cleanups around the fishing community. It could be any, we've done them in Loch Raven, we've done them up on the Gunpowder. We go to areas that have been kind of trapped in the cooler parts of the year when the fishing is usually pretty much dead or near to it. We'll go out there, we'll do the cleanup and just try to take care of the areas that we all really value and appreciate so that we can, just be responsible stewards of the resource. And if there's
Good,
fishing to be had after the cleanup, we'll all circle up with everybody who came out and go fishing too. So you
good
still get
stuff.
that candy at the end to catch some fish and as a reward for helping to clean up the spot.
We have, thanks so much, Cambo. Really appreciate it. You guys have been doing great stuff for several years. Um, if you guys have questions, if you want a shot at winning the BKDs, there's 3 packs of them. Ask a question in the next, really, you got like a couple of minutes. Right now, it's just Shore Sharp and our buddy Fig that are participating. But Robert Figliozzi says, I was surprised that that the rockfish were only hitting tiny baits and completely ignoring the tons of big bunker. They were hitting the rain minnows only. Why is that? That's probably a Pete question.
Well, so there was bunker around and there was rain minnows around, but they were eating the rain minnows. Huh.
That's
I
what he's
mean,
saying.
I wish I knew. And if I saw that, I'd be downsizing, obviously, to match whatever they're eating. But that's surprising to me. I don't get it. Cambo, what about you? What's your thought on that?
I mean, it's definitely weird. Like for a
Yeah.
striper to turn down bunker for anything else is weird.
Hmm.
All I can really say is just what you said. I've seen similar behavior with snakehead where they're just eating like tiny little glass minnows, like 1 inch, 2 inch baits, even though they have access to larger food. Definitely seen them do it on the snakehead side too. And at that point, you just have to hope and pray that you pack some kind of lure you can downsize to, because otherwise you're just going to watch them blasting bait all day long.
Fig, if you're still here, were they small rockfish? Maybe really small, little juvenile rockfish, and the bunker were larger. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't
Anybody
ask
else?
him what size, but yeah, that could have been.
I'm going to give people a couple of more minutes to ask questions. I'm actually going to bring Big Yacker in now because we already have people that have registered for the tournament, and we have a few prizes to give away. Hey, Colin, how's it going?
Good. How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We
Yeah.
have, hang on just a second, Big Yacker. We got one question coming in from Shore Sharp. He says, what are your favorite colors for soft plastics
Mm.
in the fall? You want to go first, Cambo?
So I will, just so I have something to say before Pete lays this out.
I'm not laying anything out.
Like I've always been a natural colors guy. So like, the first one that it's a confidence bait for me is going to be the BKD 6 inch in white. But I mean, over the years they have won me over. I say they being some other fishermen out there, especially Rashawn's prime call. I'm gonna have some pinks on me. It's like for the longest time I was like, I'm not gonna throw. There's nothing in the water that's pink. Why would they eat pink? Well, gosh darn it, they're gonna eat pink. So I mean, like the white, the pink, the chartreuse, but my confidence bait is going to be the white. But then you get into things like water clarity. But I'll leave those questions over to leave those questions over to Pete for that one.
Real quick, Figliozzi followed up on his question. He said, no, it was big fish spitting up rain minnows. Had to downsize and caught my fish. Very interesting.
All right.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Colin, favorite color, man? I'm putting you on the spot.
Any color that works. No, I'm just
Right.
kidding.
That's exactly right, brother. I like
Yep.
that.
No,
Yep.
I usually just go with white. I start with white.
Yeah.
That's just me.
And Pete, what do you think, brother?
Well, I keep it simple, stupid. I'm not a color guy. I'm more of a where and how you put it. But if I have to pick a color, chartreuse during the sun. I like white anytime, and I like a purple glitter type darker color at low light. That's all. It's not laying nothing out there, Cambo. It's stupid simple stuff. I'm not a scientist. I like to, but I always say to guys on the boat, it's not the color, it's where and how you put it. But sometimes it could be the color. I'm not saying it's never the color, but where and how you put it.
All right, Pete and Cambo, if you want to stick around for a few more minutes, I can give people the opportunity to get any last questions in. But right now, I'm going to give the stage to Big Yacker because he is going to give away a prize or prizes. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I think we're going to give away. So we have 5 folks registered from the initial startup of the tournament. We have one angler that's already registered. I think he's registered 7 rockfish already. So he's had 2 culls, which is awesome. And he's sitting at 122.75 inches right now. And then I think the rest of the anglers, they actually joined as these winds picked up over the last couple of days. So I don't think anybody's really been able to get out and hunt the fish yet. So we have 5 anglers. So I have a hat here, and I've already put their names in
So
the.
hang on, Colin. Like,
Yep.
just because this guy's got 121 inches, like, is that an insurmountable uh, number for someone to catch up and beat at this point?
Oh, it's easily. So we're doing the 5 fish stringer, right? The best 5 fish. On average, I think he's catching like 22s to 24s. So yeah, there's as it gets cooler out, I think as mentioned earlier by Walleye is that by Pete is that they that once they come down a little bit further to the middle bay and even further south, I think we'll see some bigger, higher class fish coming in, hopefully. So yeah, so that 122 is definitely beatable. As I mentioned, his averages I think is like 24 inches per fish, maybe 20, somewhere between 22 to
Well,
24 as I graded them. So there's definitely a chance
we,
to I'm thinking maybe 150 would be a pretty safe bet to
yeah,
get
we
first.
can do this, Big Acker. Pete, on
Yeah.
your boat on an average day, what do you think the best 5 fish would equal to?
In
Would they be
October. In
Woo.
October.
in
Well,
October?
right now we're not seeing we rarely get one over say 27 right now. We our top end lately has been like 27 and 27 maybe 28. Yeah, I had a 28 a couple few days ago. So, you know, 24 to 28 is a fair bet. On a nice good fishy day, 24 to 28 can definitely get caught for a
Well,
5 fish stringer.
guys, I mean, you can break out the calculator, but 24 to 28, right in the middle of that is 26, and 26 times 5 would break the current first place um, uh, uh, participant. So it's still wide open. But do we have any more questions coming in? No, not yet. But so, Colin, you want to go ahead and which prize is it?
Yeah, so I think we have so Eddie Weber is donating a bunch of high octane custom baits.
Okay.
So I think we have a package. We don't have a picture of that, but we have a package coming through. And anybody that's watching the video, whether they watch it live or if they watch it later on, you still have opportunities. So every week we're going to do Lucky and Blessed Fishing is going to do a live on Facebook, usually around I think 7 or 7:30 on Tuesdays. We're going to do a live on Facebook and give more prizes. So the prizes that you saw in the pictures earlier, you will see those will be given away throughout the course of the tournament. So you don't have to catch a bunch of fish. You just have to be registered to win one of those prizes.
All right. So what we got?
All right. So
Little drum roll.
all right. So I got 5 names here. Hold it up. And the first or the prize winner for tonight is Jacob Cusack.
Jacob Cusack. Do I spell that
I
Cusack?
no K, just Cusic.
All right. So he's the winner of our high octane custom baits package, right?
Correct. And he may actually get a book from Lenny as well.
Okay. and I'm going to go with. I'm just going to put myself out there. This is the first one of these we've done in a while, and it's awesome that Pete and Cambo came on tonight. But I've had a great time, so I'm thinking we should do another one of these soon to give people the opportunity to win some of these prizes. So congrats to Jacob for the high octane custom baits pack, and Pete, we got one more order of business. Unless somebody wants, while I'm reading out these questions, if you got one more question to throw in, you can. But Pete, you're going to pick our question of the night. And we
Okay.
got a few of them here.
Okay, I'll try to remember them all.
No, I'm gonna put them up on the screen for you.
Uh-oh.
I've been out down this rodeo with you plenty of times, so I know I got it.
I might have to get close to be able to read.
I'll read them out. I'll read them out. No worries.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's go to the first one, which is somebody took my question down. Okay, we got Pete. What's your go-to lure for early morning rock in the shallows? That's the first one.
Yep. Okay.
Then we got Figliozzi's question which was why are they hitting rain minnows and not the big bunker? He had to resize, go down to get the rain minnows. And then Shore Sharp asked another question, which was, where is it? It was there. Hang on. Here we go. Favorite colors for soft plastics in the fall. And then Colin asked me, why do they call you, where is it? Why do they call you Crazy Horse? And yeah, there it is. And all I'll say to that is, high school football coach, I reminded him of his friend when he was a teenager, who was a Native American guy named Crazy Horse. And he just turned and didn't think about what he was saying. And he said, Crazy Horse, get out here on the field. And everybody heard it, and it stuck for 35 years. I'm going to go with that. But Pete, what do you think about those three questions?
I'll go with the first question. What bait in the morning? I think it was that one. What was the first question?
First one was
Go to lure, I think.
Yeah, what's your go-to lure for the early morning rock in the shallows?
That's a great question. That's the one right there. Yep.
Shore Sharp, I guarantee you I still have your address because I'm pretty sure I sent you prizes no less than a half a dozen times. So I will be sending these to you. Scott, Colin, don't worry, I'm sending to them on my dime. So congrats for that. And I think we're right up to the end of the show, but we're gonna, this tournament goes until when, Colin?
The tournament goes till the last day of October, so it's a full month long tournament. 5 best fish. So it was also mentioned it's $40 per entry fee, but with the prizes that are mentioned, it's more than that. So if you actually get first place, we have a benefit we're doing, as Scott mentioned it earlier on in the podcast. And in that benefit, it's a $50 ticket and a guest, so it's $100 technically for you and a guest if you win the tournament to come out to our benefit, which is basically open bar with beer, wine, seltzers, and Mission Barbecue. So that in itself, without the prizes that you're going to win, is well worth it. If in my opinion, for the food and the free alcohol, and that's
the live rock band.
And the live rock band and getting to hang out with Scott. I mean, that's just a prize in itself.
Yeah, just ask Pete.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, can you guys send me some info so I could promote this a little bit from my end? I mean, I would love
awesome.
I think what you're doing is awesome, and I've been getting quite a bit of activity with what I'm doing, and I could probably get some folks to join up.
They can catch on your boat. They can catch on your boat if you bring some folks out and they want to join a tournament right on your boat, and they have the stuff that they need. We
QR
can give
code.
you
QR code.
What's that? QR code, yeah.
QR code. Where's that at?
It's right on the flyer, right on the first. Go to our tournament page. Both flyers.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll send it to you as well.
Colin,
sounds good.
Colin, could you send him that?
I think so.
It's
All right,
all
well,
good.
Yeah.
Scott, you can do it. You know what? You seem to know about the QR code, so you send it to Pete.
Yeah.
Pete, thank you so much, man.
All right, brother.
It's been a pleasure as always. I really appreciate you, and
I
I
got to
hope
go
you
to
get to go
bed, man.
fishing
I
with you
got to get
soon.
up and do it again tomorrow in the wind again. I'm
Go
tired.
get him.
Oh,
Go
I
get
hear
him,
you.
buddy.
Well, I hope you find some protection, man. And
Tomorrow's better though, isn't it? Tomorrow the best day with the wind. I'm trying to
It's
get
a
on my
little
kayak
better. I
tomorrow.
mean, yeah, it's a little better. Today I trailered today, and it was turned into like a 14-hour day between the trailering and the fishing.
oh, well,
So
we're honored.
anyway, but
We're
yeah, I'm
honored
not
that you made
crying.
the time. Thanks so much for making the time. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it,
Pete.
My
and I
pleasure,
hope to get to
fellas.
go fishing with you soon.
Yep. I'll
Take
see
care,
you.
Pete.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, for those of you who didn't catch the first 5 minutes of the show, we're going to do a little bit of a review. But Scott, how about we go with the abbreviated version this time?
The abridged version.
The abridged version, but
Yeah.
really quickly, tell us about Lucky and Blessed.
Yeah, so Lucky and Blessed, we started as a fishing club a couple years ago. Last year became a nonprofit. It caught on. It just caught on like wildfire. And a lot of the organizations that provide meaningful day programs for adults with disabilities in Maryland have found us: the ARC, Bella Mockery, Bay Community Support Services. But in addition to that, we started summer camps this year. We had amazing camps for all abilities. And really, guys, that's the underlying theme of what we're doing here: all ages, all abilities. The reason that we're taking those fishing, a lot of these folks fishing with disabilities is not because they have disabilities, is because there's been a barrier that's kept them to fishing up to this point. And that's a social thing, and that's a culture thing, and that's why we exist as a nonprofit. That's the problem that we're trying to address is the limited access that these folks have to not only fishing but outdoor activities. In fact, we just won an award from Anne Arundel County Department of Aging Disabilities for the access that we've been able to provide to this population. So, guys, join this tournament. Come to the benefit. Everything that you do in terms of supporting us, 100% goes into the mission of providing these amazing activities for these folks. And come on out and volunteer with us. It's so fun. I guarantee you, coming out, you're going to get hooked.
Well said. I feel like you are a well-oiled machine at this point, man. This is your second time around.
I just keep getting better every time.
And we talked about the tournament a lot. So I think we can probably just move on to the part about how this tournament specifically benefits that population that you just laid out.
Yeah, absolutely. As a nonprofit, we're always a couple of things that we're always looking for is volunteers and support and supporters, and it's really great. We've been able to grow our community quite a bit. But like I said, every bit of money that gets raised from the tournament, from the benefit, helps us continue our work. It also helps us to start new programs like we did this year with our summer camp, new programs that we're going to be able to provide, not just summer and spring, summer, and fall programming, but winter programming that we've dabbled a little bit with last year, but now full on winter program with partnering with the county park systems. Are providing naturalists to come out and provide outdoor education for our people. Again, something that no one ever thought to do. And that's going to keep us connected, because really we're not about fishing. It's about relationships. It's about community. And again, providing access and breaking down barriers.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Those of you who stuck around for the whole show, we thank you from the bottom of our heart. Big Yacker, Scott, thank you so much for having me involved in the organization. It's an honor every day that I'm able to contribute. So
thank you, and thank you. I agree. I think we need to do some more of these.
We're going to do another one, and that's why I'm going to ask Scott and Colin, hang out for a second after we end this.
All right.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we're going to talk about the next time we're going to do this, which we're going to make it happen soon.
Cool.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Right,
Come see
thanks.
us.